From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we say a very happy new year to one and all here on Rivalry Family Media. A very good evening, everyone. Alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for Rivalry Family Media. Happy to have you back inside the gym at Leominster High School with us, if only socially distanced. The teams are here, the coaches are here, the broadcast is here as well. We will do our level best to make you feel like you are here as well as you join us for this 2021 COVID-modified basketball season here on RFM. So happy to have you along with us courtside, alongside Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins. Happy to have you with us here as we get set for fantastic action tonight. Leominster and Narragansett will kick off the basketball season in Pod 6 here on Rivalry Family Media this evening. And what a matchup we have to look forward to here. A matchup of two teams that haven't seen each other often lately. Of course, as the way more and more we're going to see throughout this Pod 6, the relationships between schools and rivalries return when you look much more regionally at North Central Massachusetts. And that's what you're going to see a lot through Pod 6 throughout this next 5 weeks. Twice a week for 5 weeks. That's what we're going to have for you here from inside the gym at Leominster High School. One night it will be the boys' game here at home. One night will be the girls. This week, it's Narragansett week for Leominster. So Leominster and Narragansett tonight. Boys here at home. We've got it for you here on RFM. Meanwhile, the girls streaming from Narragansett via Baldwinville TV as well. That game going on with a 6 o'clock tip-off this evening as well. Then come Thursday, the home and home. Everybody switches. Girls basketball will be here at the gym at Leominster High School, and then boys basketball will find themselves out on the road as well. So much to talk about, so much exciting action. Blue Devils and Warriors here. Bill Thomas, we're just about a minute away here, but your quick first thought, two teams here who have both graduated the bulk of what they relied on last year.
Yeah, two teams that both made the playoffs, had deep runs in the playoffs. Narragansett coming off a 4-loss season. One of them was by the Blue Devils early in their season last year, I believe. But it's two teams that mirror each other. Both graduated the majority of their squads. They don't know what they're going to have this year. I think it's a great way to start the season for both teams. Young squads that really are both question marks.
Kate, by the end of the night, these two teams will have at least a better idea of what they have to contend with for the rest of the season.
I think you're absolutely right. One of the things that you have to realize is that these teams have not been working individually or as a group for a very long time. And so you kind of almost have like a false start, even though we've known that the winter season would be starting right about now for quite a while through the MIAA. But it doesn't make it any easier to start a season in January. But we will certainly see what both of these teams have by the end of tonight, and we're looking forward to it.
Teams are over on their benches right now getting their final instructions. The 5 starters from each side will take the floor. We'll introduce you to them here on the broadcast. That'll be followed by the national anthem, and then usually we would say tip-off would be coming up. But one of the many modifications we'll talk about this year, there'll be no tip-off. There was a coin toss. One school will start with the basketball, and that's all coming up. But it's time now to meet the starters for our two teams tonight, beginning with the visiting Narragansett Regional Warriors. They'll start junior guard Ryan Theriault, number 1. Then number 2, Jake Smith, the senior, will get the start at the other guard spot. The 3-4-5 position, Tony Stowell, the senior, Andrew Stillman, a senior, and Max Jakes, also a senior, for the Warriors getting the start out on the floor this evening. Meanwhile, for the home Blue Devils, they'll start 5 tonight. They'll start with Mike Halstead, the guard, a sophomore, then Brian Perez, a forward and a senior. Terrence McCormick will get the start at guard, a freshman seeing his first start this evening. Isaac Tyson will start at center in his first senior start. And then Justin Dada, returning sophomore starter, will be the 5th member of the starting lineup for the Blue Devils. With one correction, Bill Thomas, it's just been brought to my attention. The off-guard spot, Kevin Viola, will get the start for Leominster this evening. And with that, it's time now for our national anthem here in the building. Athletic Director Dave Palazzi spends tonight's national anthem. We'll rise to join him. And that's the national anthem, and pregame has concluded here inside the gym at Leominster High School. And much like any other sport, side out, if you will begin on a coin toss. Leominster has won the toss. They will begin with the opening possession of the ball game, and away we go, Bill Thomas, with basketball action.
Leominster controlling the side in. Start the game. Sounds weird.
I don't know that I'll ever get used to it, but we're going to make it go the best we possibly can. First shot away belonged to Viola. No go, and the rebound for the Warriors, and down floor it goes. A little trouble in the transition, but Stillman will control, wing to the left. There we go. Feeds Jakes a three-point opportunity, back rim and no, and the rebound down in the hands of Stowell. The drive from Smith, he runs into a double team, drops it off for Terrio. Throws it up on the back of the rim, no go. Brian Perez sporting the shortened dreadlocks here for the 2021 COVID-modified season with the rebound. 30 seconds gone by, still no score. Leominster and Narragansett, opening of Pod 6 basketball here on RFM. That ball was tipped on the rebound, but a foul called on the rebounding action. And from the inbound, away we go back down floor. This is Terrio.
Dada picks up his team first for the Blue Devils.
Thank you, Kate. Ball dropped low in the post. It's Stowell, the turnaround, and the foul called from off the ball. Looks like Perez picks up his first, Kate.
Certainly does. That's going to be team second for the Blue Devils in the early going here. Perez with one and Dada with one for the Blue Devils.
Another one of the rules implementation here. Nobody in the lane during the first of two foul shots.
Add that to another one of those things. So it kind of looks like a technical free throw.
It does.
And
I saw it during the JV game. I didn't quite understand it at first, but then I saw him coming in for the second shot, and then I realized what they were doing. Once again, the rules take us a while to get up to full speed. But
no question about it.
We'll try to explain them as we go.
Stowell can't get the second one to go. Dot of the rebound. Quick look up floor, finds Halstead, who lays it in and good, and Leominster's got the first points of the game. 2-0 Blue Devils. 6:50 remains here in quarter number one. Right back down floor, it's Terrio. Hits the side of the backboard, able to gather his own rebound, but he's on the baseline. The ball will favor the Blue Devils.
Once again, some of the other rules we're going to be talking about, closely guarded rules, inbounds play. Number of changes this year for the basketball teams.
The freshman McCormick pops a three from the left side. That won't go. Rebound for the Warriors, and back down floor they come. It's Jake Smith in transition. Playing a bit of a two-man game with Terrio, who will drive the lane, and he will get fouled, dragged down by Halstead, the sophomore, who hooked him in the arm to prevent the shots. Another one of those modifications, Bill Thomas, you saw. The officials using those finger-activated whistles this year.
Yeah, we saw them.
Slightly different sound. We saw them during the soccer season.
In the field hockey season, yeah. It takes some getting used to. A little louder in the gym, though. We had problems hearing them outdoors. Be interesting to see during football season if they utilize that, too.
You can see the nerves. Terrio shorts that one, and now the players will join the lane. And Bill, I think there's a big concern here that I think people maybe haven't seen. There hasn't been the traditional preseason. Remember, these teams tried out before the holiday break, sometime in mid-December. Then they broke during that holiday break, during a dead period, if you will. And then these teams only re-engaged just last week after the holiday. So certainly, teams are not going to be as well prepped for this first opening game as they usually would be. And anybody who does coming out of this first night, Bill Thomas, miraculous.
I would agree. And I think we're going to see that on defense more so because they haven't been able to practice that close.
Viola, nice look up floor, finds McCormick, who lays it in and good.
One of the things they've been avoiding during practice is that close encounter defense practice, so we'll see how that affects the game, the game flow.
Smith drops it off for Stillman. Stillman over his head, comes to Stowell, left side of the arc. Drive through the foul line into a double team, lost the handle. They got tied up, held ball the call. The alternate possession favors the Warriors.
You're going to see a lot of quick whistles, too, on loose balls. They're not going to allow kids to dive around the floor. They're going to make quick decisions with those whistles.
And get stuck together in contact. Again, all about preventing as best you can in a sport that doesn't offer a lot of space. Nice flash down the lane by Smith, and an equally great job by Stillman to hit him.
Nice weak side inbounds there. Another thing we won't see is any inbounds on the baseline.
Yeah, all of them will be foul line extended. Count
Nice
that
job.
one for Dada, and a foul.
Showing some of his veterans' presence, even as a sophomore. You know, he did play a full season as a starter last year, which can only bode well for the Blue Devils with all the veteran talent that they lost.
Dada goes to the line. That's going to be Narragansett's first foul.
So they're only going to allow people in the first 2 lane spots. Leominster's electing to play their defense back down floor with just 1 man in the lane other than the shooter. Shot will go for Dada. 3 the old-fashioned way, puts Leominster +4. 5:25 to play here in quarter 1. This is Smith. Over the head in the corner for Stillman. Stillman the baseline drive. Lost handle, off knee, and out of bounds. And the ball back to Leominster.
It's going to be the 3rd turnover for Narragansett here in the early going. We have some substitutions coming in.
See, I'm surprised they're letting this in, but usually any contested inbounds are going to move these to the sidelines, the foul line extended. But on these dead balls, no defensive pressure either.
I think it's the offensive half court there, Bill Thomas, that they'd be looking at, where people would get packed in
Underneath
a lot tighter
the offensive, yes,
than
exactly.
normal.
Offensive rebound for the Blue Devils there, but no go.
Indeed, House couldn't get it to go. Second opportunity doesn't go either. 3rd opportunity of the possession. Dada dances down the lane and lays in and good.
Dada with 5 points here in the first quarter for the Blue Devils.
Warriors go long distance looking for it. There was a tip by Halstead who fronted his man, and that was Richards who got the last touch on it. Ball out of bounds. It favors Leominster.
Right now, Leominster being fairly disciplined. Turnovers at an absolute minimum, whereas Narragansett's picked up their 4th turnover of the game.
Fire away does the freshman McCormick, and it rattles out for him, but in transition, nice pocket pick by Viola, and he gets fouled driving the lane after the transition. That's impressive for the junior Viola. He scrambled back into the play, got the ball back, turned it around, and actually was the beneficiary of a reach foul. Halstead will have that foul line extended inbound, and a foul away from the play.
Now, the official table has marked that previous foul against number 14, but they did so against Leominster on the board. Now they have 5 fouls up. Oh, boy. Here we go. Okay.
4:35 to go in the first quarter. Kate will sort things out.
We'll keep working on it.
9-3 Leominster's lead. Another one of those changes we'll be talking about throughout the year. There will be 2.5-minute breaks at the end of each quarter. There will be no halftime. So hang tight with us, get comfortable. We're in your living room for the entirety of this one. Kate will have her stat updates at the conclusion of the quarters.
Oh.
And we've got a mask warning against Leominster for not having the nose covered down in the low post.
Well, and you have to understand, this is the first time we've had an indoor sport.
Yes.
So people are a little bit sensitive to this.
Jump stop for Smith doesn't go. He got picked in transition. It's Dada, well high over his head. Got controlled. Then Assayas, they'll play it back around through Halstead and back to Dada. Head fake, foul line, Stead back. Asius, drive, back, Halstead. Through the lane, laid in and good for House.
Assayas doing a nice job there, dishing it over to House to make that basket happen.
And a timeout on the floor taken by the Warriors, stopping the clock with 4:07 to play in quarter 1. An 11-3 Leominster lead, and we say hello to you once again here from Press Row. Great to have you along with us. We also say hello to our viewers joining us via Leominster TV as well in replay. Great to have you all along with us for this one. I mean, we got started so quickly and things kind of hit the ground running so fast for the lot of us. We haven't gotten to talk about so many of the things that are out there on the floor, and these will be storylines we'll be coming back to throughout the season. But one of the things, Bill Thomas, that stood out to me from my conversation with Coach Grutchfield of the Blue Devils, Perez and Dada, they're the 2 returners. They're the ones that played the major minutes for this Blue Devil squad in 2020, now coming into this year. Having graduated the 3 leading scorers from last season, Coach Grutchfield's going to be looking for Perez and Dada to need to severely increase and carry the point load for this team.
Well, I would say Dada has stepped up, and we'll have to see how that carries through for the rest of the game. Got an inbounds over there.
Indeed we
Answered
do.
inbounds. Tell you, blue on blue is a little tough. I got to tell you. If I get confused, I'll give myself over under of 3.
And it's not just royal blue, Bill Thomas. It is, or sorry, it's not just blue, but it's royal blue on royal
Exactly.
blue. Couldn't possibly be more difficult. Here's the drive down the lane. It's House, scraped glass, no good. Got his own rebound and got fouled going up. 2 shots coming at the line for House. 3:49 to play in the first quarter, and Leominster up 6 at 11-5.
Narragansett doing a nice job coming out of that last timeout, really stepping up the energy and stepping up the physicality there. A couple of quick whistles, so things are starting to get a little bit gummy relative to pace. But overall, everybody doing a nice job in the interim to try to step things up, because if you're Narragansett, you don't want this lead to get out of control. That's the last thing that you want happen. With that last bucket, they diminish that lead to 6, and that's huge for them. Keep it close, and you just keep going until you can win individual quarters.
House gets the roll off the front rim there. 12-5, Leominster's lead, 3:45 to play here in the first quarter. And now the Blue Devils go to full court pressure. Token off the inbound, and now they'll take it back down in the half court, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, you got to show them a little bit. Don't want them to have a free ride.
3 from the corner for Stillman does not go, and the rebound down for House.
I know the rule changes, they're not discouraging defense, but they're definitely making harder on the defense.
Through the lane, that was Halstead, couldn't finish at the rim, and frustration galore. Players having a conversation out there. That was Smith, got tied up with Halstead at the conclusion of the play.
That's just explicit communication.
Indeed.
That's all.
Close-knit, explicit communication. Timeout on the floor.
I just want to be clear.
Taken by the Warriors, and we'll come back up here courtside. And
Ooh,
one of
Give you
the
a chance to finish your
fouls have
thoughts.
been fixed.
yes, Kate is
Fouls on the
I will
board have
correcting
been
mention,
those
fixed.
information. Yes,
I
go ahead.
don't see a common face over there at the scorer's table, which could be the problem.
I
Mike,
know.
we miss
Okay.
you already.
We're all right.
Absolutely. No question about that. I'm sure we'll see Mike in the
Do you know
intervening
how many
weeks.
mistakes I make, Billy?
As well.
Please.
Bill Thomas, you had mentioned this when we were taking a look at this great article from the Gardner News, and I want to give Ken Power the credit for this great preview of Narragansett, and can't help but point out some of the things that are going on out there, and this was a great point. Coach Rich Zalanaradis made this point to Ken Power in his preview article. Coach said, and quote, "The best part of this experience is that basketball practice has become the 14 of us in the gym together for 90 minutes of normalcy every day."
That's the best thing I got out of that 3-page article was that quote, and I mean, he couldn't have said it any
Talk
better.
about bonding, huh?
I think that sums up just what it means to be playing basketball in 2020.
And he said it's affecting me, so you can only imagine how it's affecting the kids on a positive note.
Well, and to think about it, when this pandemic struck, it was in the playoffs of winter basketball season. And
Traveling
so
violation called, sorry, Kate, on Stillman. The ball will go back to Leominster.
become full circle in this situation. The fact that we're able to have a winter sports season is remarkable, in my opinion.
Yeah, I recall first week of March is when everything got shut down last year, right at the end of the districts.
Stillman has a shoe untied for Narragansett. He's in the paint right now trying to hop along, and he gets the rebound and trips over his shoelace.
And we kind of might have saw that coming.
Yep, nailed
Ball
that.
loose down floor. Bit chaotic in an unsettled situation. Here's the transition. Asias coming back up floor, and he'll slow the action down. Perez finds a wide open House in the corner. The drive, Dada into a double team. Underhand House, 3-pointer from the right wing, and hits.
Smooth.
Leominster's lead is 10 at 15-5, 2.5 to play here in the first quarter.
House already with 6 points here in the first quarter for the Blue Devils.
Smith looking down low, flying through your screen. That was LeBlanc. He couldn't reel it in. Quickly in transition. House the lay-in and good as he got ahead of the squad.
Somebody's feeling good right now.
Question about it. Young players galore. We'll talk more about it. Here's the drive. Jump stop for Stillman. Stepped around a player, rattled out too strong. Last touched by Leominster. It will be Narragansett ball, 2:05 to play here in the first.
Now, Stillman did get his shoe retied. I was getting worried with all these rebounds.
This is where we're going to see the sideline inbounds being employed here.
Inbound once again for Narragansett.
Yeah, this is Stowell. The shot will not go. And the rebound down in the hands of Perez. Comes up floor. Here's the drive. Jump stop. Won't
Nice
go.
dish.
Inside fine. Nevard couldn't get the shot up. And here we go in transition the other way. It's the Warriors. LeBlanc, swing around, find it in the hands of Richards. 3-point back rim, no. Battle for the rebound, and dribbling away with it is Viola.
On that last offensive possession for Leominster, you could see they're not quite necessarily aware of where everybody is on the court. Asias there with a beautiful dish to the baseline, and his teammate just not quite ready for it in Nivard.
Perez tried to find Nivard on the inside, and then Nivard tried to go inside back out, and he overshot his intended target.
I think I made a mistake. I believe we were told it was Navard, but I could be wrong. I'll have to double check on the pronunciation, but I believe it's Navard, and I screwed that up, so I apologize.
We'll get it right one way or another.
One day.
There's no apologizing in basketball.
Hey, five weeks, twice a week. We'll get it right before it's all said and done. Ball coming up floor. It's Terrill. Terrill gets bumped there by Asias.
A little, yeah, I guess we'll call that a bump. Aggressive defense.
No question about it.
We're getting messages from Coach Colin Davis.
Long distance inbound. Go ahead.
That Todd is in mid-season form already, but that principal and former coach Steve Dubzinski should be doing color commentary. So apparently not a great recommendation for Billy or I.
That's
but Todd,
okay.
you're doing great.
Bring Steve on. Hey, does he know
Appreciate
I'm
that.
multitasking?
Among the many jobs, everyone multitasking here. Final minute of the first quarter. Tipped inside. This was Stillman. Lost it over the baseline. And the ball will stay with the Warriors. 1:03 to play here in the first. Oh, I wouldn't go right to midseason form, but I will take the compliment.
That's
You
what
take
we've
them
been
when you
told.
get them.
That's the word on the street.
And we're looking forward, by the way, to Leominster High School lacrosse coming just a couple of months from now.
Yes, we are. Bring it on.
3-point away off the front rim won't go, and the rebound down in the hands, this time, of House. Asias, cross-court, dangerous pass, finds Perez, drive, nowhere to go, loads up House, side rim, no, and the rebound down in the hands of LaJoy. LaJoy will outlet up floor. Terrill, count that basket, plus a foul.
Good fast break right there. Yeah, and if anybody hasn't checked out our golf special, they're missing a one-of-a-kind broadcast.
And that'll put
Check us out on YouTube.
That'll be 7 fouls, team fouls for Leominster. That one on Viola.
First shot away from Terrill, and that is short again. Second time at the line, Bill Thomas. It feels like one of those situations where he's just trying to strike his distance, and I'm sure free throws in practice, one of those things, in this kind of a short install, short preparation for the season, might not be the thing you got a lot of time on. Driving the lane, fouled on the floor there. That looks like Dada, and it was.
That's going to be on LaJoy. That's going to be team 4th for Narragansett. That's going to be LaJoy's first.
House to inbound. He'll break the play from the foul line extended. Asias, nice bounce in the lane. Perez, step around, got stuck. Dada, 3 from the left corner, and count that one.
And when you get Dada feeling it out there on the perimeter, that gives you so much more space in the paint, and you can see them kind of starting to really work the ball around. And again, it's going to take a couple of games. And with such a truncated season, it's going to be difficult to really get that flow. So when Dada is feeling it on that perimeter, it really does just open things up quite a bit for the Blue Devils, especially in the paint, to get a little bit more action going.
Stillman looking for an inbound, finds the cutter. It's deflected away by Perez. He saw Smith flash, cutting to the basket on the left side, and Perez last second got a hand up.
Well, they got beat by an inbounds player in the game. Similar situation. Saw that one that time.
And now Perez leaves a lot of space, allows the inbound, but Viola dribbles his way through it. 2-on-1 down floor. Viola challenges Stillman and keeps the concentration lay in good. 15 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Once
Nice
again,
steal.
House will make the steal. And down floor lay-in is good, 24-7. Final 3 seconds of the first quarter. Good if it goes, and that one too strong off glass. 24-7, Leominster through one quarter here at the gym at Leominster High School, end to end, but exactly what I was expecting right off the top, Bill Thomas, and that is if you're looking for clean, picturesque, mid-season basketball, you're not going to find that until February at this point in time.
Well, I think we saw more of it from the Leominster Blue Devils, smoother passing, good transition game, and you know, the Gansett Warriors were keeping it close there for the first half of that quarter, but all of a sudden you look up and it's a 17-point lead, and you wonder where that came from.
And one of those places that you can certainly look at it has been the turnovers, Bill Thomas. Control of the basketball has been a bit of a challenge for both schools, and we expected it would go that way. I mean, that's one of those things when you're in the early going, things like free throws, things like turnovers, trying to press and do too much, especially when you fall behind this much early. You're trying to play your way back in, trying to do too much too fast.
Yeah, and not knowing exactly what Duda's got in the quarter. With somebody who's shooting the ball from the outside like that definitely opens up other opportunities for the rest of the team inside and for cuts and drives to the lane. So we'll have to see if he can continue that. You know, he showed a lot of that last year as a freshman. He wasn't afraid to fire the rock at the basket, and he's honing in on it. And he seems like he's in midseason form. Of all the players, he's putting a really good effort forward for his first game.
And Kate, here's an opportunity to take a look at those first quarter statistics.
Certainly one of the things that we're going to take a look at, team totals first. Right now, a 15-point deficit for the Narragansett Warriors. Theriault with 3 points, 1 of 2 from the line. Smith with 4 points, and that is the entirety of their scoring. On the Blue Devils side of the ball, as a team, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Viola with 2. House already with double digits, 10 points. Halstead with 2, McCormick with 2, and Dada with 8 as we start the second quarter.
Indeed we do. Leominster, who had won the opening toss, controls the basketball to begin quarter number 2. Perez inside out looking for Viola, a little too hot to handle. He'll recover, find a cutter. That was Halstead.
Ooh.
And then Dada reaches over the top and forces the finish. That, Bill Thomas, was sheer will.
I tell you, he's not afraid to take it to the defense under the basket. Great to see that aggressiveness.
And Viola gets caught on the defense, called for the block. And the Warriors will inbound from midcourt.
Viola's going to pick up his second. It's going to be team 8th for the Blue Devils in the first half.
Kate, I'm going to stand corrected. They made a call away from the ball here.
Okay.
So it was down low. It looked like
It
looked like 11 Halstead got charged
They
with it.
still have it as Viola at the moment up on the board. but
Okay.
I will watch. I wasn't watching, so.
On the 1-and-1, that one does not go, but the rebound rolled loose for Theriault. He got a second shot opportunity, missed it, back down for Viola. Throws it up and gets it to go, plus the foul.
Not just throws it up
my.
and under and up and around, and it goes. That was a great one-on-one effort right there.
Viola made it up as he went, Bill Thomas,
You
and
ain't
that
kidding.
one worked.
Jakes picks up his first, team 5th for the Warriors in the first half. Viola at the line.
And that one will go. Completes a 3-point play. 7:23 to play in the second quarter. 29-7, Leominster's lead. Here goes Theriault. The drive. Creates some space. Got bothered from the backside by Asias. Found an open man in Stowell. Straightaway 3, no. Crashed on his own rebound and just lost the handle on it. Up floor, Leominster tries to go too far. Last touched by Blue Devils. Ball will go back to the Warriors. And Bill Thomas, this Narragansett team is not far away. They're not far away from being able to find that connection. There might be one pass too far off. They're winning the first touch on rebounds on the offensive end, and then they're just not able to get the handle on it.
Yeah, I'll put them in the scrappy category at this point in the game, but they're just having trouble finding the net.
Smith picks up another bucket.
Yeah, that was Theriault on the nice find on the slashing Smith.
Leominster still doing a nice job working that outside perimeter.
And put another 3 on the board. This one for the freshman McCormick. Wow. And then a foul on the inbound as Leominster overplayed that attack.
That's going to be their team 9th. And that's going to be the second on Perez.
9 fouls midway through the second quarter. You're heading on to double bonus, and so that's going to put all that much more emphasis on those free throws we were talking about a little while ago.
And right now, from the free throw line, I've got Narragansett at 1 for 4, and the Blue Devils 2 of 2.
And count that one. Front end of the 1 plus the bonus goes for Smith. And if there's one way to get yourself back in a ball game where you're down 22, it's hitting the free opportunities. They've certainly had plenty of them. They're going to get plenty more. 6.5 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Lots more shooting opportunities. Smith not the guy to foul. Goes 2 of 2 at the line. 32-11, 6.5 to play here in the second quarter. This is Dada. for the freshman McCormick. Dada working in a double team. Come corner. First touch for Alex Moisen on the floor. Moisen, cross court. McCormick, fake the pass. Now the give for House. Looks inside. Tipped to there by Smith. And the loose ball picked up by Stillman. Stillman presses the case. Down the right wing. Up on the glass, and it goes.
Hey, he's not bad when his shoes are tied. He's doing a great job. He is, one of the things about him, he's electric on that team. He is at every single ball. He's in every single person's face. He is absolutely stunning out there for Narragansett. He is a definition of a warrior out there for them.
Moisen missed the initial shot. House tried the putback, got fouled on the play. 2 shots coming to the line, 6th overall, called against the Warriors.
Stealing my thunder on the fouls, Todd. It's game 1 of the season.
Trying to help where I can.
I could use the help.
House rattles the first one home, 33-13. 5:53 to play here in the second quarter. And, you know, one of the other things that stands out, we were mentioning, of course, the Warriors winning the kind of the attack on the rebounds. We'll get to it in a second here as House's second is coming at the line. And he'll get that one to go as well. 7 players on this roster for the Warriors, over 6'1". Here's Smith down the floor, tiptoes down the lane, got it over the front of the rim, and it's good. So 7 players, Bill Thomas, over 6'1". On the floor, okay, you've got Smith at 6'3", Stillman at 6'2", Stowell at 6'1", Jakes when he's out there 6'2". Only Terrialt is sub 6 feet in the starting 5 for the Warriors as Leominster posts another 3.
Yeah, I think you got to learn how to play with that height, though. You can't just throw height out there and expect to be successful, and it's something the Warriors are going to have to work on game situations to take advantage of that height.
Push shot from Smith won't go, and trapped on the rebound. It was Gremolini who ends up touching it along the baseline. Ball back to Leominster. We mentioned the graduations, you know, that have affected both teams, Bill Thomas. And I mean, when you just listen to these numbers, it further emphasizes what the Warriors are trying to overcome. And one of those things, Freddie Monet Harris, team leader last year in points. He averaged 18.2 points per game last season. That's a huge hole to try to overcome in a COVID season, in a modified week. Putback will go for Leominster.
And I think the Warriors graduated 4 out of 5 starters, plus 1 or 2 key members of their bench, and they had an opt-out also, which has also affected the program. So they're battling a lot when it comes to overcoming their success from last year, trying to match that.
So team leading second scorer, if you will, was
ball.
Sullivan last year. Sullivan averaged almost 16 points a game as Leominster in transition. That's Moisen at the rim.
That's a bounce pass to watch right there. I got to cut you off, Todd. But
No,
that
you're
bounce
fine.
That bounce pass was one for the books right there. Great job.
Up floor, nice job on the break, and not able to hit the streaking Terrialt was Gremolini. He got it in the middle of the floor, went lead man pass, and wasn't able to find his target, just a little far out of reach.
They've had a lot of opportunities against the Warriors, had down court. Just the pass been a little short, a little out of reach, but they're trying to work that fast break. They're trying to take advantage of situations. It's just early season, an inch here, 6 inches there, a little second late there. It makes a big difference.
They said Leominster had last touch on that, and so it will be Warrior ball. This is LaJoy, looks inside for Stillman. Halfway through this second quarter, remember, just 2.5 minutes coming up at the theoretical halftime. It's really just a quarter and mask break, and that's about it. First shot was missed, but LaJoy cleans up the left side, put back good. Jumper from the foul line for House, gets the roll. Leominster right now putting up an awful lot of points in a game, Bill Thomas, where they were trying to recover from a sheer number of missing athletes.
Well, I got to tell you, they're getting some great outside shooting. They're crashing the boards, and number of steals and fast breaks turned into layups. They deserve every one of those 43 points up to this point in the game.
Billy and I were talking about it earlier, Kate. Perez and Dada, that's who Grudgefield was looking for, Coach Grudgefield that is, to kind of make up for the 3 leading scorers that graduated last year. And right now, looking over your shoulder at that sheet, it's spread around a bit.
It is spread around a bit. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got scoring contributions from 6 different Blue Devils out on the court. So that's nice. You're getting some second team or some bench points for Leominster. We've got 2 offensive rebounds for Narragansett. Make that a 3rd attempt.
And Stowell strong up, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2.
You know, and I think reflecting back, talking about the height, Todd, 2 offensive rebounds off of that miss. They couldn't convert either one of them back up, and I think that's where you got to learn how to use that height to your advantage. You can't be too quick with your putbacks. You got to use your height, use your head fakes, but use that height to get the rebound. But then you got to do some work to get the ball back up and to make it all worthwhile.
Stowell hits the first, but
and
not
Shorts
the second.
the second. 3.5 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Sorry, Todd. Leominster is at team limit for team fouls in the first half.
Moisen's shot won't go short. Nevard with the rebound. Putback won't go, but a nice job to get the open rebound. Dribbled out of trouble in transition. It's LeBlanc to the basket. Swatted away by Moisen.
Get that out of there, he says.
Wow, Moisen got out on the lead man. He was trailing the play as LeBlanc got out in front, streaking down the floor. And then just a last-second opportunity there. Moisen never gave up on the play. Stillman looking ahead for LeBlanc across the arc. Nice head fake. LaJoy gave it up inside LeBlanc, running a little weave here in the left wing. Stillman back top of the key for Smith. Smith, head fake, drive, nice spin into the lane, shot up front rim, no, and the rebound down for Dada. Dada up floor, looking this time for House, and House got sandwiched in a mass of bodies, and a foul called against the Warriors.
That's going to be their 7th. It's going to be the 2nd on LaJoy, and that's going to send House to the line. So far, he's been money.
Penalty situation, 1-1. That's why the players are in the lane.
And absolutely iron quite kind for a House. He's able to touch a whole lot of that rim and got the beneficial bounce.
Tried to sneak a quick inbounds there after one foul shot. Officials having none of that.
So many little things, and we talked about this during the fall 1 season. You're an athlete, right? And I mean, no matter how long this packet is, Bill Thomas, you said earlier, 10 pages of rule modifications. At the end of the day, when the game starts and the whistle blows, aside from the tip-off, athletics is going to take over. Nice find down floor by Smith, finds a wide open LaJoy, lays it in and good. The court vision for the Warriors is fantastic.
A number of plays down court, and I think if anything the Blue Devils need to work on is getting back on defense because they've been beat down court a number of times.
Yeah, Narragansett pretty impressive in transition, especially from Smith and LaJoy.
You hate to find fault with a 25-point lead, but there's always room for improvement.
Stillman hard through the lane, got fouled on the way up. Call will go against Nevard. 2 shots coming up for Smith.
I want to take just a second, Todd. You were mentioning an athlete's going to be an athlete once that whistle goes, once you get on that court. And so as a coaching staff, all of these coaching staffs have to kind of reset their thinking because you don't want to, go after an athlete for making an athletic move that is generally very much allowed during a non-COVID era. And so you kind of have to have that balance. Yes, your student athletes need to know the rules. They need to follow the rules so that they can continue to play. But you can't get all that upset if they're making an athletic move. Gets his own rebound.
And puts that one in for 2. So wasn't able to get either of the free throws to go, but Smith never gave up on it. Shorted the second one, got his own rebound, put it in and good. Meanwhile, Dada down the lane, had an open opportunity from the left side. And here we go, right back down floor. Long distance this time. That was Richards. Picked off by Asias. And Leominster will slow the pace.
Leominster has been the beneficiary of some turnovers. They've been struggling on the boards, on the offensive boards.
Viola, a line drive jumper from the foul line. He got fouled from behind. And so 2 shots coming up for Viola with 1:53 to play here in the second.
LeBlanc picks up his first team 8th for Narragansett.
And shorts the front. Does Viola. Viola's got a classic 80s look going out there on the floor. He's got the headband. He's got the tight curly hair going on.
You're just upset.
He's got the short shorts. I mean, it is straight out of the Larry Bird era.
Exactly. I was going to go right where I was going with that.
You're both crazy.
Viola will get the second one to go. Hey, remember, if you hang around long enough, everything that's old becomes new again. Whoever thought short shorts in basketball would be a thing again?
Full circle.
No doubt about it. 1:45 to play in the second. Here's the drive. Shot over the rim this time for Richards. In transition, Perez, short front rim, dribbled out of trouble by Asias, and Leominster will reset. 90 seconds left here in the second. Jumper for Perez from the right side goes. 48-22, Leominster's lead, 1:20 to play here in the second. This is Richards, corner for LaJoy. Short on the shot, rebound down for Leominster. In the corner, Viola, three-pointer, sees it and bees it. That one's good.
Extend the lead to 29.
Here's the drive thrown up over the rim. It was Smith, not afraid to challenge down the floor. Final minute here of the second quarter. Dada and Smith go down hard. Dada was able to keep his feet. Loose ball on the floor. There's a tie-up. Whistles will come quickly. The alternate possession favors the Warriors. 44 seconds flat left here in quarter two.
Couldn't blow the whistle quick enough to keep 4 kids off the floor. And that, and Kate, right back to your natural instincts.
Yep.
Immediately, 4 kids dive on the ball. You can't stop that,
Nope.
you know?
No matter what you do.
And no whistle's going to stop it before it happens.
And that's one of the things you have to accept. Having athletics compete at any level at this time in this era, you've got no choice. A natural athlete is a natural athlete. They're going to make an athletic play when something happens.
It's
Can't
all about
legislate
instincts, you know?
Absolutely.
You've been told to dive after loose balls your entire basketball career, and now you're being told don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'd really
your
rather you
brain
didn't.
doesn't work that quick.
Yep.
As you know, as a youth.
Dada picks up his second. Team limit for Leominster in the first half. Fouls are going to be an issue in the second half.
No question about that. I mean, as you look down, and we'll get an update here at the end of the quarter, Kate, but I've got to imagine our numbers on both squads, particularly for Leominster, who had 10 in the early going and a while ago. I have to imagine a little bit of trouble and short benches here. Each team, Leominster dressed 10 tonight, Narragansett dressed 11. So they're not exactly deep numbers out there on the floor. Viola draws the contact, no shot. That basket will be waved off. It came after the whistle.
You know, I think the teams are being allowed to carry 15-man benches. Neither team is tonight, and they're also, you know, not encouraging, but being allowed to expand that JV presence beyond limited quarters of previous years. But I don't see any JV kids hanging around tonight either, so we got what we got.
That one will go for Viola, and Bill Thomas, you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously you're used to having 3 levels of basketball, a JV1, a JV2, or you could say a freshman, a JV, and a varsity game, usually in the same building on the same night, and you could swing a few players between those teams. Not exactly going to happen in this era of basketball. Leominster possesses, shot clock off, final 20 seconds here of the second quarter. Lost the handle on that one, and so an opportunity for the Warriors to get the last points here of the second quarter, and there was a train wreck right at the top of the arc. Everybody appears to be okay, but again, these things are going to happen. That's the only thing I can keep coming back to. These things are going to keep happening for a couple of weeks. I mean, you have a 5-week season where you're playing 10 games. I would imagine week 1 and week 2 are going to be a little rough around the edges if we're being complimentary.
Yeah, and not only for the players, for the officials too. You got to remember, you know, they haven't officiated basketball for 10 months, and you know, it's a first for everybody. You know, whether a little quick on the finger whistle, trying to limit contact. You know, we'll have to see how those foul situations play out. You know, as we continue to cover these games.
Theriault gets that one to go. Final 5 seconds here in the second quarter. Asias with the take, dish. McCormick, good if it goes. Count that one at the buzzer. And the freshman McCormick is feeling it through one half here at the gym at Leominster High School. 55-24, Leominster through one half, but wow, talk about coming out and making your presence known in your first ball game.
I have to say that if there's anything the Blue Devils have been practicing, it's their outside shooting, because I don't have the stats on outside shooting on who's got what, but they appear to be lighting it up, especially beyond the three-point arc, a number of three-pointers. But let's not discount their inside game either. They're in mid-season form right now, and Ganson is struggling, showing the problems of first game jitters.
So remember, there is no halftime. We could call it halftime. We're through 2 quarters here at the gym at Leominster High School, but what we really have is the conclusion of the second quarter, 2.5 minutes up on the clock. Each team will get that opportunity. A new basketball will be put into play at the end of each quarter. A basketball will be disinfected and then a new one put into play. And that's what we're looking at. And Bill Thomas, as Kate preps her halftime/end of quarter 2 statistics, we welcome everybody in here. We especially want to welcome our viewers joining us tonight from the districts and towns as part of Narragansett Regional. I know how difficult it is to be a parent not able to be at your child's game. I can only imagine how difficult that may feel to not be able to be here tonight. We hope for both the parents of Leominster and Narragansett and the surrounding community, we're able to, Bill Thomas, at least stopgap that and help them feel like they are a part of this broadcast tonight.
Oh, absolutely, Todd and Kate. You know, we saw a lot of that during the fall 1 season, covering the field hockey and the soccer. We got a lot of positive feedback. It's great to be able to bring these games to the parents. I know as a parent who I would leave work early and use sick time to be able to go watch my son play varsity basketball or baseball or football or whatever. And to be told you can't come and watch your kids play, it's got to be very hard on parents these days.
No question about that. Can certainly understand the difference, of course, in that fall 1 season. Home parents were allowed to attend games at outdoor facilities. Moving indoors, Kate alluded to it earlier in the broadcast, just a different feeling for everyone, not to mention the overall direction the science is taking, as, of course, the numbers continue to rise all across Massachusetts. So people, just out of an abundance of caution, legislate their way to a fairly empty building. It's a little strange to be here tonight. We've certainly seen small crowds at points throughout years, but definitely strange to have basically the teams, coaching staffs, the official table, athletic directors, folks that are working on the broadcast end, and a couple of folks that are doing strategy film for each school, and that's it. That is all that is in the building tonight. It is awfully odd, I will say that. But Kate, as we've reached the first 2-quarter conclusion, we'll call pseudo halftime. What have you got statistically? 55-24, Leominster with the lead.
Certainly. Right now, let's take a look at team stats right now. The scoring differential, Leominster up by 31 points. Individual notable statistics for Narragansett right now. Theriault with 5 points. Smith doing the yeoman's work of the scoring tonight so far for Narragansett with 12 points. LaJoy with 4, Stowell with 1, and Stillman with 2. If we take a look at Leominster's side of the ball, Viola 10 points in the first half, Moisen with 2, Haas with 16 points in the first half for the Blue Devils, Halstead with 2, Perez with 2, McCormick with 8, and Dada with 10. And 55-24 is your score at the end of 1 half of play here from the gym at Leominster High School.
As we get set to start the second half of action, certainly for those of you joining us via Facebook.com/Media Rivalry with our live stream this evening, this is fully participatory, so you feel free to root your teams on down in the comments as well. We'll try to shout them out where we can. No guarantees. I see a couple of Go Blue Devils down there, but Kate, I just want people to feel like it's fully participatory on both
here
sides.
Come the comments. Good job, Todd. Great, thanks.
3-pointer away from McCormick, not able to get that one to go. 7:45 to play here in the third quarter. Just 15 seconds gone by. This is going to feel like, as our friend, the NASCAR insider, Bill Thomas might say, a NASCAR pit stop is about all you get between quarters, you know, at this point in time.
All the rule changes in basketball against that, I can't understand why they would cut the halftime short and not allow the kids more time to recuperate. I understand they want to limit the time in the gym, but you know, you gotta have some kind of trade-off.
Certainly seems like there would be an opportunity for that, but indeed we continue. The Warriors now go left to right here in quarter 3 and 4. And this is Theriault, challenged by Perez, tipped to Viola. Perez now 2-on-1, leans in the shoulder, offensive foul, and the ball will go back to Narragansett.
He had a player on his left wing too, but decided to take it in himself and just ran the Gansett player over. Good job by, was it number 1?
Yeah,
Theriault?
it was Theriault.
Stood his ground. Good job by Theriault right there.
And that's going to be Perez's third, team first of the second half for the Blue Devils.
55-26, Leominster's lead. This is pretty much where we've been since the conclusion of the second quarter. Here's the drive. That was Jakes. Found Stillman. Stillman just shy, front rim. Battle for the ball with House. Alternate possession on the held ball will favor Leominster.
Same blue, but they're both blue.
Well,
Technically,
not
Leominster's
really.
white
No,
tonight.
they're giving it to Gansett.
Yep. Because they're wearing blue.
I thought the alternate was heading
I was
towards
going to say,
Leominster,
it
but
seemed not
maybe
to
they didn't
favor.
switch it.
I was saying, maybe there wasn't a switch at the table.
Mike, where are you?
Oh, man, that one will go. Count the basket. 6:37 to play in the third quarter.
We'll have to look at the
55-26.
tape.
Basket goes. Good for Stowell, and Stowell to complete a three-point play.
And why aren't they in the lane?
Yeah, that one goes. So they must have waved the basket
yeah,
off.
no basket.
So Stowell got fouled, and they said it was obviously continuation, not a thing in high school basketball. That's very much an NBA rule.
Along with the Euro step.
That's right, and among other things.
Among other things. They let them do as pros. It should never happen.
2 for 2, though, for Stowell at the line. House fires the three. Gets a great look and hits.
You talk about playing up. He's playing like
got
a seasoned
19 points.
seasoned senior right now tonight.
19.
A sophomore in his first varsity start. That's a night right there. That's a career.
It's
for
a night to
some
remember
players.
for sure.
And there's a foul on the rebounding action.
You know, to look at the leading scorers, I think they're all sophomores for the Blue Devils. Along with, is there a freshman tossed in there? But I think all the production's coming from sophomores.
You have a sophomore in Halstead, sophomore in Dada, the freshman McCormick, and 2 seniors, Perez and Tyson for Leominster. Those are the 2
But don't forget
returners,
House
if you will.
is just lighting it up, too.
We've
He's
got
also
more
a sophomore.
comments coming in to Principal Stephen Dubzinski from the Peanut Gallery. They're saying he must be working really hard and doing a great job with crowd control here at the gym at Leominster High School and to keep up the great work.
Well, we saw how great he was at crowd control last year at the Fitchburg. I believe the Fitchburg game. It got a little out of hand, along with him and some of the other administrators.
That comment courtesy of Catherine Bro, by the way. So, yeah,
he's
working
experienced.
on it right now. Billy.
Hold him back.
Billy,
Let me see if I can
Billy,
get a
slow
shot
down
at him
here.
real quick.
He's getting
There he
the
is.
crowd back.
That's it.
He's
Keep
getting
them
the
back
crowd
off the
back.
floor. It's
Yeah, keep
just
'em out.
like being there. It's just
practicing.
like you're here.
He's working
Someday.
hard. He's
Right.
working hard.
He's staying in practice.
When Dr. Steve Dubzinski arrived tonight, the first thing I saw him do after he said hello to us here at the table was walk over and tell him to sit down
down.
over in the student section.
Sit down.
That was the first thing. He kept them under control over there, which is an important
Rebound
part.
for Narragansett. Viola goes up to try to get the layup, and Narragansett come down with a rebound and gets the offensive rebound there too.
Stillman missed the first. Second opportunity for Terrill doesn't go either. 5.5 to play here in the third quarter. Here's Stillman, launches 3, no roll, and a foul on the rebounding action.
I will say, Dubs has quite a tough crowd to have to contend with. The text messages are on fire on his phone.
And there is a mask up reminder from the officials out on the floor. And, you know, we talked about it in the first half of action. That is really one of those things that, you know, we noticed during the soccer field hockey season, maybe it got a little lax, but you were outside. The numbers were far different in the fall than they are now here in midwinter as Viola drains a 2-point jumper to put Leominster over the 60 mark. It's just a very different thing. This is going to be one of those points of emphasis officials are going to be on top of. It's not going to be 3-4 games in where officials are going to go, oh, by the way, you need to wear a mask.
No.
Rebound down for Viola off the deflection. Here's Moisen. Throws on the brakes, waits for the defense to close. Shot up, count, basket, plus foul.
Veteran move right there. Just wait for the defense to blow by, do their jumping, and then go up by yourself, get them on the way down, and muscle it in, get the extra foul shot.
If you're looking over at the official table at some point in time throughout the broadcast and you're thinking substitutions look a little, you know, kind of helter-skelter, yes, that is also a COVID rule modification. So only one player coming in on the substitution wave actually needs to go to the official table. Once the officials blow the whistle dead, acknowledge the substitutes coming in, then anybody from either bench is welcomed onto the floor. Free throw missed, Viola rebound opportunity, jumper shorted, and out with the basketball comes Richards. For Stillman, step around, took the contact, and over the top of the basket, no good.
We are working on getting our clock in sync here on RFM, so just give us a moment.
And a timeout on the floor. 4:42 to play here in the third quarter. Leominster's lead 62-28. here on Rivalry Family Media. So great to have you along with us. You saw just a little while ago so many ways to play, more ways to watch. Of course, the live broadcast available, facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Game will be available same day on demand by 9:30, 10 o'clock this evening. Game will be available on YouTube. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, subscribe, follow, do it all today. You'll know every time there's a broadcast, and of course, social media updates. Twitter @Media Rivalry as well. And of course, we said it is Narragansett week for Leominster basketball-wise. These two boys teams will match up again on Thursday night, and here on RFM, that game will be out in Baldwinville. Here on RFM, it will be the ladies from both schools that will come to the broadcast, as both Leominster and Narragansett will be here at the gym at Leominster High School. 6 o'clock, the tip-off. 20 minutes before said tip-off, that game will begin right here, streaming on Rivalry Family Media. And for those of you joining us in delay, we thank you so much for joining us on Leominster TV as well. It's so good to be with you throughout the city of Leominster. Comcast Channel 9 and Verizon Channel 32. Yes, very good. I had the numbers for Watertown running through my head. I avoided tripping myself up on that one. Had to go a little slow, but I avoided tripping myself up on that one. Here's the drive, the stop at the foul line. Dish inside Moisen, the jumper from the left wing, will not go. And the rebound down for LeBlanc. LeBlanc up floor, finds Richards. Able to gain control, lay it in and good.
Once again, Blue Devils lazy, getting back on defense. Getting beat down court for an easy lay-in.
Transition and rebounds, those are the two areas that I think are glaring right now for Leominster.
Hard contact there on the strong take to the basket. The foul will be called against the Warriors.
That'll be there.
Oh, no, check it. It's going to be, they did call an offensive foul, so they called it against Moisen. He was certainly the one who was drawing the contact. He was initiating the physicality going down the lane.
That's Moisen's first, team third for the Blue Devils in the second half.
I suppose if you were going to place a foul out there, that's probably a good place to put it, given the way the numbers are going to go. Steal for the Blue Devils. Down floor, Viola for House. The one bounce lay-in is good. Have a day, Chase House. The forward, the sophomore, first varsity start. What a night.
I cannot wait to ask Coach if he knew what he was getting with this young man right off the bat. What a debut.
Richard on the turnaround will not go. Viola dribbles out of trouble with the rebound. 3.5 to play here in the third quarter. Here's the drive. Halstead. Kick for Assayas. Assayas gets it back. Jump stop through the lane. Missed. Put back. Moisen uncontested. Good.
Using his height right there to his advantage. Good position on the weak side.
36. 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. And a nice strong drive for LeBlanc. And you're seeing no intention of these Warriors backing off or not trying to continue to improve. Hey, it's the first night after a very short turnaround to put your team together. Every minute out on the floor tonight is valuable, regardless of what the scoreboard says.
Yeah, you're not going to be resting your players tonight. You're going to get them all the game action you can. At the very least, get them in game shape.
Tip and steal miss. Sorry, Bill Thomas, but Assayas with the putback goes.
Good steal and a putback. Good follow right there. Offensive rebound.
And the Warriors will spend a timeout.
Lead has grown to 36 points.
Indeed. 68-32 here in the third quarter. 2:38 to play in said third quarter. And again, so many things coming up over the next so many weeks. So of course, we mentioned coming up, Narragansett week continues. Leominster's girls against Narragansett's girls coming up on Thursday. And then next week for the Blue Devils, games we'll have here on Rivalry Family Media, Leominster TV, and the associated coverage. It will be Leominster and Gardner girls, then boys. So Monday, January the 18th for Gardner and Leominster girls, followed by Thursday, January the 20th, Gardner and Leominster boys. And so that game will be here on RFM coming up next week for those two. 6 o'clock starts, as you can see, throughout this winter season. Broadcast will begin 15 or 20 minutes beforehand. We'll start those streams up. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for the live coverage. Of course, you can join. There's so much going on in this winter season and just never enough time to be able to get to it all in so many different facilities. Leominster TV will also have your coverage of live varsity ice hockey. Those games are available kind of in alternating days. So basketball Monday and Thursday means that varsity ice hockey is available Tuesdays and Saturdays. Those games available on Leominster TV as well. 2.5 to play here in the third quarter. Go ahead, Kate, sorry.
Especially on the boys' side right now, having a difficult start to this early season. Some of their opponents have been in COVID protocol, so making the start to the hockey season on the boys' side and the girls' side a little bit more difficult than we've been seeing with basketball.
Indeed. Stillman goes backcourt. And hockey in general, both at the youth level and also at the high school level, at the college level, too, has struggled with their COVID protocols. I think it's just the nature of the sport. If you've spent 5 minutes inside of a hockey locker room, you know what it smells like.
Oh.
I can only imagine.
That's where you went with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's not. There's nothing. It's just. It's moisture.
I know.
There's water. It's melting. There's sweat. There's equipment.
The equipment doesn't get washed as frequently as it does in other sports.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of it, right? I mean.
But we've been near lacrosse players, we've been near football players.
Kate, this is not an equity opportunity to call other players
I'm
smelly.
doing it. I'm doing it. It's odorific everywhere, okay, people? It's an equal opportunity olfactory.
Oh, my. 1:43 to play here in the third quarter, and Asias with the pick in transition. Dada goes inside for Perez. Now Asias, the push shot. Got fouled going to the basket. 2 shots coming up here.
Good to see the Blue Devils staying aggressive there, even with this big lead.
That's going to be Richard's second, team fourth for Narragansett in the second half. Asias at the line, shooting, and he hits the first.
I gotta mention, I was looking over at the Blue Devils bench. I didn't recognize Coach Grushfield right away. Without the open white shirt and the tie, half undone. I'm like, I can't find the coach over there.
Well, he's always very put together in the first quarter, but by the time the whistle starts, things tend to get a little bit more stressful.
I don't think I've ever seen him
with the second,
without
he misses. Leominster with the rebound. That's Perez back to Asias for another one, and he's able to dish that over to Moisen. Moisen able to clean things up after 2 offensive rebounds, and the ball back to Narragansett.
Hey, nice job, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, filling in on the old play-by-play whilst I had to lubricate a little bit there.
Mask break,
water break. Good gosh, action end to end here in this first one of the 2021 COVID-modified basketball season.
You abandon us, we just keep going.
The show goes on.
Perez doing a nice job in the paint there.
Wow, he tried every direction he could think of and decided on back to the left, and then a foul as we go inside of a minute here in the third quarter. I, of course, was listening to the two of you while I was taking my mask break.
Doubt it.
And, of course, pointing out that Coach Grudgefield, of course, is dressing more casually, as you'll see. Basically, if you've been watching basketball at the collegiate level, they've been doing it. There's combinations of tracksuits. Tom Flanagan, of course, get your favorite tracksuit. It's one of my favorite tweets. Anytime you see it out there from Tom Flanagan out there, you get the tracksuits, you got the polo shirts. Basically, think of it as being, the Maui Invitational, but it's going to be this way through all of COVID basketball. Doesn't matter if you're at youth, high school, if you're up at the collegiate level, or even if you're in the NBA.
You mentioned Tom Flanagan. His Twitter is something that I adore trolling as often as possible. He is prolific.
We've had him as a guest on Press Row on Rivalry Family Media. Always fantastic to talk to Tom Flanagan. Hopefully catch up with him at some point out here on the circuit this year.
Smith found himself in a double team there, is able to dish out to the perimeter.
Jakes couldn't get the 3 to go, and the rebound inside it was Richards. Shot up, basket, good, and a foul. 17 seconds left here in the third quarter, 71-32. Leominster's lead.
It's supposed to be 71-34. I think they're putting the foul up, so just as a heads up.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I'm going to monitor that.
Yeah, they've been on 32 for quite a while.
Yep.
All right, putback does not go as we fall under 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. Up floor, it's Asias. Nice job to find Dada. Leominster's going to step back and try to dribble this one out for a last basket opportunity. Dada found himself some room, created a mid-range jumper, didn't go. Warren Sounds with a loose basketball. 3 quarters in the books here from the gym at Leominster High School. Leominster with the 71-32 lead here on night 1 of COVID basketball here for winter season number 1 as we get set to begin the 4th and final quarter about 2.5 minutes from now. And what a end-to-end, a lot of points being scored, defense at a premium, Leominster getting the better of it, Bill Thomas, and I keep kind of going back to it. Things that Coach Grudgefield said before the game. This is a fun group. They're young kids. They work hard. And let me tell you, sometimes when you're that young athlete, it's almost one of those things, if you don't know any better, Bill Thomas, you can't be nervous. You just go out and do what you've always done. Sometimes not knowing, you're better off.
Well, and I'm going to go to a quote that Coach Grudgefield gave you for pregame notes. And once again, it mirrors what we're hearing from Narragansett. You know, I think we judge success this year by whether the kids can stay healthy and we can finish the season. If we get through this season, that would be a huge success. Now, that's what you're measuring success on, and I think it's the way to look at this year. Not wins and losses, but how much fun your kids can have and just knowing that you're getting that opportunity that you weren't sure you were going to get 6 months ago and making the most of it.
No question about it. And, hey, there are plenty of athletes that were supposed to play in spring of last year that didn't get that opportunity and would have been more than happy to play under modified rules with different requirements in just about any way humanly possible in bubble suits if you let them to go out there and play lacrosse and basketball, not basketball, lacrosse and baseball and softball. There's, a ton of athletes. So I agree, Bill Thomas. The great victory here is the fact that everyone is here,
that we're here
and is able to continue to play and compete and show their skill.
Spot on.
Down floor, Smith makes the pick as Viola got a little too excited trying to push the ball up floor.
I am going to bring our score down to 32 points. The official table did not change it. So right now we're going to go 71. 30, well, now it's 34.
It always happens every time you correct the score. Layup goes for Smith. Dada for Viola. The drive, kick back. Dada, wide open look, shorted it. Ball deflected along the baseline. Loose ball run down by McCormick. Finds Perez wide open. Take kick for Viola. And Viola for Halstead. Viola gets an open look from the left corner, 3. Doesn't go, and the rebound ripped down by Jake Smith. Minute gone by here in the 4th and final quarter. Smith tries to take it all the way on his own, and there's a reach-in foul and then a pile-up right around the top of the arc to our right.
Once again, a COVID rule. Kids cannot help other kids up off the floor.
I know, that is...
You got to let the kid get up on himself. You don't see any help. And don't think the kids are being disrespectful. They're being told it's protocol. You cannot help your opponents up during scrambles.
Perez picks up his 5th, so he is done for the Blue Devils. That's going to be team 6th of the second half.
And he fouled out Kate with what looks like 2 points total tonight.
Yes.
Back down floor, House in a double team. Dish for Halstead. That one won't go. And the loose ball run down by Dada.
Great look by Halstead. Knowing he was in trouble, finding his teammate.
Halstead, 3 short. Dada the rebound. 6.5 to play here in the 4th quarter. Leominster will be without one of their captains, Brian Perez, the rest of the way. House, the little runner. Back rim too strong. Foul on the rebounding action called against Leominster. It was a blow to the head.
You can see the youth there. He has one speed, and it is all out all the time. He did not slow up there. It goes right over the back of the Narragansett player. With maturity and with time, I think you'll see him be able to certainly rein that in. But a masterful job here for the youngster in house tonight.
And this is Smith at the line. Gets the front end to go.
That was House's 2nd foul, team 4th team 7th for the Blue Devils.
And that one will not roll with the rebound down. McCormick on the battle. He got bodied out of it, but he got shoved in a foul call there. It was Gramellini who gets nailed for it. Coming up post-game, Leominster High School head coach Kevin Grudgefield will join us here on the sideline. Have a socially distanced conversation, opportunity to catch up with Coach Grudgefield. Great opportunity to be able to do so as House finds his way to the basket, and that one will go.
Billy, you have any guesses on how many points he has so far tonight?
He's got to be close to 30.
We're getting there. He's at 23.
I was going to say, he's got to be close to, right on, right, his year of graduation?
I think so.
So we're
think
right
that's
around,
right.
we're about to exceed his year
Now,
of graduation.
we did have 2 baskets that, I mean, for those that don't know, I don't get to watch the basketball game for that much time. So
You'll join us for the Inside Access broadcast when you get a chance
Todd
to see that.
doesn't say who the basket was made by, sometimes that can get tricky. So Todd not in midseason form yet. So work on that.
Well, that's House.
Thank
he
you.
lays that in good.
And he's
Put
on
2
his
more
way to
on the
30.
board.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He's turned the
He must
corner
have heard
past
me.
25.
He heard me. He wants 30.
Just some constructive feedback
nice.
for you.
I appreciate. You know what? Anytime I can get some constructive criticism,
for
and there's
me.
House
For me.
again.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Nice bounce pass and a gift dish there. Takes it right in. I
That's
thought he
just
was
what
going to
you
dunk
need, right?
it.
You know what? And
He might be able to dunk.
feeding the hot hand, Bill Thomas, has
Oh,
also
it's-
been a thing. His teammates are looking for him. Right now, he's proven he's got the hand tonight. They're looking to create for their teammate. That's part of building a team.
A rare clean rebound for the Blue Devils in this one. That is an area that I think Coach Grudgefield is likely to mention when we talk to him later tonight. That's an area. Leominster not giving, I mean, size-wise, pretty comparable on both sides of the court tonight. So that's an area that I really think they're going to need to work on that and transition. Billy was harping on that earlier. They have been quite slow in transition.
Got to get back.
Particularly after the made basket. There's the reverse opportunity for Richards. Didn't go. 4th opportunity on the possession, and via sheer determination, Koszewski gets that one to go. 4:40 to play here in the 4th. Dada spins through 3, shorted the lay-in, and then committed a foul, reaching across on the rebound. And so the ball back to the Warriors. That will be the 8th build against Leominster. Free throws coming up.
I got to tell you, I got to give Duda credit. He's learned how to use that extra step, that Euro step that they talk about so much in the pros, and it looks like they're going to allow him to use that technique here at the high school level. At least tonight, a number of times we've seen players take that extra step and be allowed to continue that transition.
For those of you that have had trouble keeping up with all of the COVID modifications, by the way, MIAA.net. Look for the basketball page. You can get this lovely play-at-home 10-page document that you can
I was gonna
follow
say,
along.
buy a ream of paper, but if you're going to print it. And it's
Two-sided
only
might make it a little
It's
easier.
only for one season.
Yeah,
it's
without-
just for fall. What's this? Fall 2?
Fall 2 and one sport, Bill Thomas.
Right, one sport.
You know,
That's what I meant.
There were 3 different guides for the fall that we were working with. As that
Carmelini
one,
just picked up his 3rd. It's going to be team 6th for Narragansett.
no, they called the poke away clean, Kate. It hit the top of the basket
No,
support.
over here.
Oh, on the other end
On
of
the
the
other
floor.
end of the
Thank you.
floor.
That one was out of bounds.
I'm still working.
Ball coming back the other way.
I'm still working.
Todd, we're chit-chatting, and Kate's watching the game.
Having
That's
a,
all.
having a conversation as hello. Here's
22.
Koszewski again.
Yeah.
Gets that one to go. Halfway down here through the 4th, and Koszewski here, trying to.
I was going to say, if Krzyzewski's in the building, I'm
Look
off.
out.
I'm off the microphone.
I was
going
going
to
to say, we need to get him for an interview if
Yeah.
that's the case. That one will short, but he's trying to make his coach notice that maybe perhaps he should be in the lineup tonight. He's come in and made a little spark. The drive through the lane. Richard can't get it to go. Ball pulled down. Battle. And they call that a tie-up. Held ball favors the Warriors.
I got to tell you, one thing I'm seeing under the basket, and it's leading to a lot of rebounds for the Warriors, is they're boxing out the Blue Devils, and I saw 3 or 4 Warriors in the paint and no Blue Devils.
3-on-2 down the floor favors Leominster. Halstead too far out in front for McCormick. And, well, they say maybe it was poked. So it was poked out of bounds. Leominster will get possession.
Foul line extended.
Finger whistle to begin play, and
That was
Asias
pretty.
saw that one all day and put Leominster over the 80-point mark. They've doubled up the Warriors once again at 80-40.
His perimeter shot is smooth.
Without a doubt. Firing his way back in. Koszewski can't get that one to go. Back down floor. It's Viola.
I
Viola.
want the house.
Oh, my. Tried to lead him.
Thought he
with
was gonna
that one on
lob
the
it and slam
alley-oop.
it.
Oh, my.
I want to see him elevate.
Globetrotters has broken out here on the Blue Devils side, or at least in their way of thinking.
Here we go again.
Here's House out on the lead of the break, and there was a much cleaner, much more appropriate bounce pass and lay-in.
House is just releasing on every shot from the top of the key outside. He's just, releasing and beating everybody down court.
On offense, doing a nice job in transition on the Blue Devils here in the late going.
The only thing that I hate to break the news to Chase House about is you only get one night where you won't be noticed.
Yep.
After you have a night like this, they're going to notice on the film. Just saying. You get one night where you get to be, quote-unquote, the invisible man going into the particular game and be that successful as the push shot banked in and good for McCormick. And subs into the game for both sides. 2:19 to play here in the fourth, 84-40. Leominster on top of Narragansett in this one.
I don't feel like we're in mid-season form yet. Holy moly.
Everything started awfully quickly here tonight.
Rather fast.
I will say that. But, hey, we'll get it down over the next few weeks.
Baptism by fire here in the gym.
Indeed. Deflected out of bounds, and this one will stay with Gansett off of Leominster. 2:06 to play here in the fourth.
You'd think we remember how to do all this stuff.
Just to keep you both on your toes, we make little minor changes here and there just to make sure you're paying attention.
I feel like out of all of us, Bradley's been the only one with his wits about him.
Viola the pick, runs down the lane, laid it in and good, 86-40. 1:50 to play here in the fourth. LeBlanc, head fake, bounce inside. LaJoy with some room. Long two, doesn't go. Rebound deflected for Jakes. Jakes feeds, jumper Richards, no go. Rebound pulled down by Nevard. Final 90 seconds here of the fourth quarter. And I would think under normal circumstances, you might see Leominster content to slow things down and dribble it out. But be it that you just haven't had enough time, you've got to keep your foot on the accelerator. And there's the tiptoe through the lane, and that one will go for a CS. 1:10 to play here in the fourth quarter.
That was McCormick.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Jumper deflected. McCormick will pull it down. The outlets for Viola. Up floor. This is a CS. The lane, reverse, goes.
That was pretty.
Plus 50 for the Blue Devils. This is something I can say in 20-plus years of calling these games I've never seen before. But we'll return to that most important point that we talked about going all the way back now seemingly a while ago. And that is, A, the victory of being here tonight and having a basketball game. And two, literally, in my conversations with both coaches and our communication exchanges, they had an inkling maybe of what they had, but they're going to know a lot more about what they can do, where they can improve, and what they can work on going into their practice plans this week.
But I want to make mention of that as well, because you have a situation where, because we're strictly geographical, it's kind of going to be even having to wait until next year to see what you really have, because everything being, equal, these pods are strictly being done geographically.
Yes.
You have Division I, Massachusetts Division I West versus Division III West here in these two teams. And so a very different situation than we're used to seeing.
They say that one was released in time off the shot clock. Shot clock is now off, so we play on. Final 5 seconds here in the fourth. This one into the corner. Jumper for three, won't go. Rebound, Richard, turn around in the lane. And that one will not go. And the track meet that was opening night of basketball 2021 here at the gym at Leominster High School is over. Leominster, a winner, 90-41 over Narragansett tonight. Teams will say hello to one another, and they will thank one another, and off they will go. Imagine this. Game tipped off right on time, 6 o'clock or a minute or so, right around. 1 hour and 15 minutes later, basketball game's over.
Used to be in here till 9 o'clock. Well, we weren't starting it till 7.
Usually starting at 7,
I got to tell you, I like this home-only schedule. Just let me toss that in there. Home-only and starting early, I'm on board with it.
90 plus 41, Kate, is an awful lot of points. You'll tally here as we go through the,
you got the scoreboard because it's gone.
The opportunity. Yeah, no question about that. It came, it went, it's gone. Thankfully, we've got graphics there on screen. to let people know. 90-41, Leominster's win tonight. But, I mean, a ton of points got scored, Bill Thomas. The game was over in an hour and 13 minutes. We go back to a point you made somewhere during the broadcast, and that was maybe there is a safe way to do halftime in the midst of all this?
You would think that there would be. I mean, I know that a couple things we didn't touch on. They give them an extra 15 seconds on timeouts. They're giving them 2.5 minutes between quarters. But I really, of all the rules, sometimes you just got to shake your head, and it's like, why are they not giving them a little more time to recover at halftime, especially with short benches and lack of practice?
Yep.
I think we saw some of the kids just kind of running out of steam towards the end of the game, but there was no let up in intensity. And I can't recall the last time we saw a Blue Devils boys varsity basketball team score 90 points. So there is some good to come out of this game tonight with all of the complications surrounding getting it played. I give both teams a lot of credit for putting on a good game. The score aside, the game we saw is not reflective of the final score. I will say that.
It's not even the last time they scored 90 points, Bill Thomas. I'd like to check when they ever scored 90 points in a basketball game. More information on that as we continue. Post-game interview with Coach Grutchfield coming up next here on Rivalry Family Media. For those of you joining us via Leominster TV, we say thank you so very much for being a part of this one. For Billy, Kate, I'm Todd. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will say so long to those of you joining us on Leominster TV. Check out the games and the replays, Comcast, Verizon, and streaming at leominster.tv. Good night to those of you joining us on Leominster TV. For those of you that are joining us here on Rivalry Family Media, coverage continues. Coming up, Leominster head coach Kevin Grutchfield joins us here courtside in a matter of moments. You stay with us here. This is RFM. And we welcome you back inside the gym at Leominster High School. Happy to have you along with us. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and joined now by Leominster High School head coach Kevin Grutchfield. Coach, great to have you joining us here post-game after the conclusion of this one. I'll tell you, if I had told you would score 90 points on the first game of the year, limited practice, limited opportunities to get together, haven't been together since just past the holiday, that is an awful lot of good things that came out of tonight.
You said to me you're going to score 90 points and win easily. I would have taken that. Really good effort. I did see this kind of in practice over the last couple of days. All these kids really worked hard. They're all committed. They have great attitudes. It's one of these groups that's fun to go to practice every day, and they're just so thrilled that we're getting this season in. And so, we made some mistakes. We have a lot of stuff we got to work on. I just told them that. I said we got a lot of stuff to work on in practice tomorrow, but definitely a good start. And we got them again on Thursday, so we'll see.
You certainly had a surprise contribution, I would say, at least a surprise to us. Chase House came out tonight as a sophomore, getting his first varsity start, and he comes up and hangs. Kate, it was quite the crooked number.
I've got 29.
Oh, wow.
That's a huge contribution from a sophomore who's had 0 varsity starts.
Yep.
One of those great surprises?
Yeah, you know what? He really works hard and he attacks the basket as he did tonight. Basketball junkie, plays year-round, loves to play. Very coachable, respectful kid. If you told me before the game he would give me 29 points, I would have laughed. I didn't see that coming, but he's we're young. He's one of 3 or 4 sophomores, so the building blocks are there. We gotta get better every day and be consistent.
You mentioned your sophomores, and they really stepped up tonight, and it only bodes well for the future. I mean, you're talking about working with these kids this year, but then having them 2 more years, not getting too far ahead of yourself, but having those kind of contributions, not having the seniors to rely on. I know you got Perez as Brian Perez as a returning senior, but it must feel good to see those underclassmen, not just juniors with the experience, but the sophomores stepping up. Absolutely,
and a lot of that has to do with our great coaching staff, working hard with these kids on the freshman level, at the JV level. Coach Rosado, Coach Barnaby, and then my great assistant coaches. It's an overall effort, and when you can establish a program where you can get young kids that are contributing on their sophomore year against our competition, it's really special. We'll have this group with us for the next 3 years. It's exciting, and Justin Dada didn't play great tonight, but he's going to be one of the better players in our area, and he's a good leader, and he leads by example. So, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to be around the young kids like this.
You mentioned Dada, and of course I think about polished basketball and kind of the difference between polished basketball and natural athlete. And I think you've got a great comparison that you've got some young players that are natural athletes that you're going to help develop into basketball players, and then you have somebody like Dada who's not old by any stretch of the imagination, is only a sophomore, but certainly looks like a more natural basketball player.
Absolutely. And he's a kid that plays year-round, and basketball is his passion. And because of his attitude and his work ethic, and both him and Brian having so much experience at the varsity level, they lead by example in practice, and the younger kids kind of, they get the cues from them, and they know, what the rules of the program are and how you're supposed to behave, and when a kid like Alex Moisen, who's a junior and he hasn't really played the last 2 years, he comes in and gives us really good minutes tonight. This is a really young, exciting group. It's fun.
One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was kind of adjusting your own headspace as a head coach this year. This is obviously an unprecedented year for everybody, and as you said, the biggest goal is to, number one, be out here on the court every day. And so seeing these young men come out here and just be able to play in and of itself is a huge accomplishment. But from a coaching standpoint, how do you measure your expectations? Obviously, you said some of the things that we saw, rebounding, obviously, is something that was something that we noted tonight. Like you said, there are areas, even though you put up 90 points, that are clearly areas that you can work on. But how do you balance those expectations in a year like this where you're just desperate to be out on the court to improve as a group and as a unit and to let these kids play?
It's a great challenge because some of the specifics are you're only allowed 5 practices a week. And then when games start, which they have, now we're only allowed 3 practices in 2 games. So I'm not allowed to practice on weekends. We didn't practice Saturday and Sunday, and I've never done that before. And it's very specific 90-minute practices. Can't go over, and by the time you stretch and you get organized and everything, now you're down to
an hour.
An hour and 15 minutes. So the preparation isn't there, and you might have seen that tonight. We're in the wrong spots in our zone offense. We didn't practice our 1-3-1. There's so many things that are kind of loose because of the restrictions and because we don't have the time to do things. So you just kind of identify it as this is the world that we're in right now. We're kind of blessed to be able to pull this off. God willing, we do, and we get through the next 3 or 4 weeks. My job is to keep these kids healthy. If they have the sniffles, they're not coming to practice.
Without a doubt.
And if they don't get a test, they're not coming to practice. I mean, that's the new reality. So my job is to stay on top of that stuff, but also teach them what we need to teach them to be competitive. So it's a challenge, but I think we're just grateful.
Yeah.
Home and home opportunity. That's another thing you don't typically have in any basketball season.
Right.
Same opponent. 3 days later, you're going to go to the location, play on the road, play the exact same team. How does that change your strategy? I mean, I guess it helps a little bit in that lack of practice time, where at least you don't have to plan for somebody new or different.
Right.
It's the same team that you're coming out against in you and Narragansett again on Thursday.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with how you do in that first game. So now I've got to guard against overconfidence, and now they're probably going to do some things differently, and we've got to adjust to that, and we've got to be up for it. But the other side of that is it's a revenge game if you did lose, and so you have another shot 48 hours later. So it all depends on the circumstance and what happens, and and it's a little bit of a challenge for us because we don't really know this league. We were sort of placed here with Fitchburg. So we'll be fine. We'll do our homework, but it's an adjustment.
No question about that. Leominster head coach Kevin Grudgefield, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you.
Good to see you guys.
And it's good to be back together here around the basketball game, as different as it may be. But more to come in the next so many weeks.
All right, we appreciate you guys. Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Coach. We appreciate it. Take care. Kate's got the final look at our final stats. And Kate, so many positive things we just talked about, and the numbers certainly do bear them out when you hear the stat recap.
All right, let's take a look at team totals first. 41 points overall for Narragansett, 32 rebounds, just a few steals, 21 turnovers on the night. Individual scoring contributions for Narragansett. Theriault with 7, Smith with 15, LeBlanc with 2, LaJoy with 4, Richard with 5, Stowell with 3, Stillman with 2, and Koszewski with 5. That one's going to
As opposed to Krzyzewski, who
Or
I brought
Koleski.
in midway in the third quarter. Yeah, no, these things happen.
And on Leominster's side of the ball, team totals first. They score 90 on the night, 27 rebounds, 10 steals, 8 turnovers. Individual notable scoring statistics, Viola with 14 on the night, Moisen with 8, House, the sophomore, with a surprising 29, Halstead with 2, Perez with 2, McCormick with 12, Asias with 8, and Dada with 10 for the Blue Devils. From the line, the Blue Devils did very well. I did not get a chance to tabulate them, but they did very well from the free throw line and did a very nice job with their perimeter shooting as well.
Oh, no question about that. And that'll be the thing, Bill Thomas. I mean, you can hear it in Coach Grudgefield's voice. He's certainly very excited. A lot of positive things. The being here, that victory, you've come and gone, you've played your first game. That's all good news. Certainly not something you have to worry about in that standpoint. But now it's coming back and doing it again a few days later and having the limited practice time and trying to build on some things and get better. And that's a balance, I would imagine, in a situation where players know if we're just being here as the big victory, we're kind of, especially with a young team, you're talking about building for next year and the year after. These 10 games are just a great victory to have them.
Well, it is. I think it's very important for these kids to get some kind of season, especially the underclassmen, but it's just important for the seniors, too. You don't want to see seniors missing out on their last year of opportunity to possibly play organized basketball at this kind of level. Not everybody's going to college and going to be a Division I basketball player, and the high school coaches realize that. And I think that what we saw tonight was a great start to what is a successful next 6 or 7 weeks of high school basketball we'll be covering. I'm looking forward to it. But just having the kids out on the court, I think from the pregame notes, both coaches emphasize the same thing. We just want to see the kids play. We want to get through the season successfully. That will be a win within itself. The scores of the games are kind of immaterial in my opinion. Of course, everybody keeps score, and don't let's downplay the final scores. But
And
you
there
like
will
to
be
say,
playoffs coming at the end.
we need to keep score? Well, yeah, we do, but we need to play the games.
Yep, without question. Just being here and playing the games, Kate, that's kind of been the overall philosophy of what is judged a victory at this point in time. But as we go through and we look at a lot of the things that transpired tonight, other than things feeling like they were going very quickly, just in transition, the game moving very fast, and perhaps it's just because we've been out of the basketball motif now for about a year, once everything got shut down last year, and haven't seen it during the early part of what is typically basketball season, that latter part of November, December, and then on into January past the holiday. Certainly, games here tonight, they were played well for some things. There'll be others people have got to go back and work on and fix and improve. And then we get back to talking about these pods and how they were put together. Everything right now in a COVID world is all about keeping the smallest bubble you possibly can. So regionally speaking, these teams make sense being together. When you think about Leominster and Fitchburg, Quabbin and Gardner and Narragansett and Oakmont, that's the 6 teams in this pod. But certainly, as we know, and of course we have these fights every year when we talk about who should be up, who should be down, who should be left, and who should be right. I think we're pretty clear on one thing. Narragansett and Leominster, although on certain years might be a competitive basketball game, generally speaking, there is something different about these two squads.
Well, and you're certainly right. I mean, enrollment in and of itself. I mean, just start there. You have a situation though where in years past, I mean, we've always seen a one-off game with a Narragansett or a Quabbin, or we usually see them about once a year. We're not usually paired up, obviously, with Fitchburg. That's a given. We're going to see them. There's a storied history there. We look forward to those games.
It wasn't a given in Fall 1. Thankfully, it's been put back in place here in Fall 2.
Right.
No Leominster Fitchburg in that entire Fall 1 season. Certainly something that we'll be glad to see come back together here during this winter season.
It's going to be quite exciting, to say the least. So that's going to be just fun. Period end discussion. Is just going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. I like the fact that that the committee was so thoughtful in their decision making. Yes, does it make things a little bit more difficult? Yes. Are you going to have mismatches? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's not as if you are vying for an MIAA championship.
Correct.
Okay, you're not. Those things don't exist right now. As everybody has mentioned, everybody is grateful to have the season. Everybody is grateful to be on the court. Everybody is grateful to have a schedule. If you get through your entire schedule, it's a miracle. And so you're going to have mismatches. It is what it is. I didn't see a single Narragansett player over there upset, downtrodden, angry. None of it. None of it. And in a normal circumstance, you would see things like that. But I think that every single person, student athlete, coach, media member, athletic director, I think everybody has their head on straight in an understanding that, guess what? There is one mission, and there is one mission only. Get out on the court and play the games. Beyond that, that's it. That period. That's the entire mission statement of every single team in Massachusetts. Beyond that, everything else is bonus. And I think we are in a very good spot here, especially in Pod 6 that we've seen in this first game. Everybody gets it.
Yep, and that's the name of the game. And I would say only if I was to add to your thoughts about what is mission number 2 then of this conversation, or maybe it's mission number 1 and it ties into what you said was mission number 1. It's everybody's healthy, and therefore you can play all of these games that you're hoping to get
It's the only way to do it.
as well. There's so many ways to participate, as we said. Of course, this game premiering live, facebook.com/Media Rivalry, and we have been so glad to have all of you here with us throughout the broadcast. Game will be available on demand on YouTube. Search Rivalry Family Media, or even quicker than that, tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry. It will take you right to that YouTube page where you can see all of these games on demand at your command whenever you have time for that. Updates available also on social media, twitter.com/Media Rivalry or @Media Rivalry on Twitter. Like, follow, subscribe, do it all today, and you can be a part of these broadcasts here on Rivalry Family Media. We thank you so very much for being a part of our family here in this 2 hours together. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. We've got more to come for you on Thursday night. Join us here. 5:45 broadcast will be on Leominster and Narragansett girls basketball right here on RFM Live, facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Once again, the final score. Leominster 90 and Narragansett 41. Leominster improves to 1-0 on the opening of this 2021 COVID-modified season. The Warriors of Narragansett fall to 0-1 in the very early going. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins and all of us at Rivalry Family Media, we say thank you so very much for joining us. And until next time, so long, everybody.